so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Let's go. I'm alive today.
Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Favor. So today is gonna be a quick get ready with me. The question is, where am I going? That's none of your business, okay? But I'm just here to have a quick chit chat with y'all because, you know, I don't want to say that I've been going through it right now because who isn't going through it? But no, that's not the point. I'm not like trying to be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm struggling, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But I think I'm more keen to like just talk about life and adulting and kind of where I'm at with that, because it's been a hot minute since I've spoken to y'all, especially the people on YouTube. People on TikTok see me more often than you do. Apologies, but sorry, not sorry. But yeah, so I'm back on YouTube, of course, because you gotta keep trying. Even when things don't work the first time, when you lose motivation, when you feel like you don't want to continue, you just have to keep trying. So today, mine is just gonna be kind of like just a quick conversation about, okay, my thing is this: how do people do get readies with me? And then, like, I feel like you have to have everything prepared. And one thing your girl didn't do is do that, but that's okay. Just gonna quickly sanitize my hand, even though I'm gonna touch my face again. Like, what's wrong with me? But that's okay. Yeah, so today I will be talking about life and just giving a quick update as to what's going on. And what I mean by an update, I'm not about to tell you guys every little thing about my life because, look, the Lord told me to shut up last year, so I'm gonna try and practice that. So, cool. Adulting has been really interesting. And I think I did a video like a while ago about the whole concept and idea of like adulting and how for me, it's just been like really weird. And what I mean by really weird is that like just realizing that we are the adults. I think for the longest time, I knew that I was not a teenager anymore, but I didn't clock that like, oh no, like I'm an adult, like an actual, like an actual adult. Now, you know, being 24, like I'm 25 this year, and I'm just like 25, you know, there was a time, you know, when I thought that I would be, I thought I'd be married with children, at this age. And that's not to say God can't do wonders, because he absolutely can. But I think as a kid, I really internalized that like 24 and 25 is like really old. And it's not. We're still young, but at the same time, we're still old at this. We're old and young at the same time. I think you get what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I think for me, it was just realizing the fact that like we are the new adults and that it's not just about paying bills and all that thing, but like a lot of the decisions that we make, or like maybe that we made when we were younger, like I feel like sometimes you were able to say like, oh, it's okay, like make your mistakes. But I'm like, no, like at this age, if I continue with that mentality of like just continue to make unnecessary mistakes, you're gonna find yourself at 30 wondering what happened. So you end up like literally being like, I feel like 30 and then wondering what happened. Like, why are you behind? And what I mean by behind, it's not necessarily on like, oh, have you bought a house? Like all those different things. I feel like behind in like progress, like actually accomplishing, reaching your goals, things that you've set for yourself. So like, yes, you can live life, but like a lot of our decisions really do matter. Like, and I think it always has mattered, but for me, I really am like, no, it matters even, in my opinion, probably even more now, because this is that age where people are getting married, having kids, you know, businesses, buying homes, and it's like, who is this person? Like, who is the person that you've wanted to be, and are you actually getting closer towards being who you want to be? Sounds like I'm going on a tangent, but let me just cut to the chase. I have been like internalizing even just the concept of like, okay, rent, do I want to buy a house, like all that kind of stuff. And as a babe who doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes that my parents made, and want to also break generational curses, that comes with discipline. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because rent and like buying homes, all of that stuff, yeah, some of us are not born into like rich families like that. I'm rich in the spirit, don't get it twisted. I'm rich in the kingdom, but I need that kingdom richness to manifest in the physical as well. And one thing I've come to realize is that, like, yeah, you can also go ahead and get that really cool job that pays well. But if you're also not disciplined in how you spend your money and how you store it over your time, keep dreaming. Because the Lord had to really correct me and be like, Favorite, look, it's cute and all that you keep using these words of, yeah, I'm going to break generational curses. And that's absolutely fantastic. And I love that for you, sweetie. But you need to be more disciplined with how you steward over your time, your gifts, and your talents. Like, be more wiser with how you do that. Because having a job that pays more doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to actually save more and you're going to actually be able to do what you need to do. Because if you spend or you try to, like, keeping up with the Joneses, if you're into that, and you're just like trying to keep up with like appearances and stuff, you'll end up still living paycheck to paycheck. And that's not a good thing. Like, I started thinking about how, like, I've been saying that I want to get married like quite soon. And I was like, God, this wedding that I keep talking about having, where's the money going to come from? And there's faith, because I believe that my God moves mountains. My God can do anything. And I stand firm on that. But with that being said, God has also put certain things into my hand that I can multiply through his mercy and his grace. Through the Holy Spirit, I can multiply what's in my hands. And the thing is, Favor, what are you actually doing with what's in your hand? And if anybody knows me on this channel, like, for the longest time, I've just always been very real about growing up, being mature, doing what you need to do, and all of those things. But I think, like, reaching this age now, it's a little bit different because it's not as black and white anymore. Because before it was more just like, you know, go for your dreams and go for what you believe in. Although I still stand on that, I do believe that discipline plays a huge role into how you succeed. And even in your prayer life, discipline just plays a huge role. Like, being able to do things no matter what. It's not about if you feel like it, if you don't. And I'm not talking about rest. That's literally not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, like, prioritizing rest, because don't worry, that video will come when it needs to come. But I just think in general, like, that's kind of like where my mind is at. Just thinking about, like, I'm just thinking out loud, guys. I'm just thinking a lot about, like, growing up and being more intentional with a lot of things. And what's really funny is that, like, I kept saying this because I've had a few friends who've got, like, either gotten engaged and gotten married in the last, like, let's say in the last 6 months. And I've just been like, oh, wow. We're at that age. We're growing up now. We're no longer the little kids. I'm like, you know, before, I've been saying this to my friends, like, before it was like everyone had like a 21st, because actually no, 16. It was like everyone was turning 16, so we were always going to sweet 16s and all that stuff. And then everybody, you know, was turning 21 or 18, and we were going to all those different parties and all that stuff to celebrate people. And then now it's like everyone's getting married. Like, everyone's getting married, everyone's having a child, and that's really exciting. But it's in my mind, I'm like, hey, some people I know, like some friends of mine, are actually wives, and some are gonna be mothers soon. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, that is crazy to me. That is so crazy to me that we're actually there. Oftentimes when I talk to my friends, we have this running joke that, like, we kind of feel like we are still 20 or 21, because it hasn't, I think for those that still live at home, it's, as much as you might have responsibilities, you might still feel like you're still a kid, because you're like, look, I still live at home, so I know what y'all talking about. I'm still the baby of the family. But yeah, although I have responsibilities at home and stuff, but I still feel like a kid. But with that being said, I understand that I'm not a kid anymore, and that's hitting me. Not in a negative way, but it's hitting me in a positive way. Because I'm starting to realize, oh wow, like, I'm actually growing, and I'm actually taking those steps to reaching those goals that I set for myself when I was younger. And I think when I was younger, I didn't really think more about the process. I just thought about the finish line. And I think for me, it's like, oh, actually realizing that I'm actually going through the process. And y'all will hear about my video, or like about God really training me and molding me into, like, understanding process, because if anybody knows me, yeah, me and process, and we weren't the best of friends, but I feel like in the last year and a bit, God has really trained me up to really accept process and accept, like, him molding and correcting and fixing a lot of things in me that I know the Lord wants me to let go of, and, like, he wants to prune. So even with that being said, it's like, while everybody's getting married and everybody's doing those things, like, the Lord is still a God of process, and, like, he doesn't do this whole one-hit wonders. Like, he wants us to have longevity in those spaces. So like, even if it's getting married, like he wants us to have longevity in those spaces of marriage as well. And I think that's why for me, I'm like starting to internalize it as like we are becoming those adults. So it means that like those prayers, like really, if you haven't been fasting, I beg, go and be doing it. Do it with seriousness, you know. Those don't wait till you're 30 and not start praying for marriage. I think that's the thing as well. For those that want it, like, I think that's the thing. If you keep thinking, like, when I brought up that point that my friends and I still feel like we're 20, we were bringing it up in a, yes, ha, 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 but we also said, but that doesn't mean that we should behave like we are 20. And what we mean by that is, like, this is not the time to say, okay, I'll pray for that marriage thing later. Girl, start doing it now. Boy, if you don't start praying for that godly wife, if you don't start praying, because we are that adults now, we're grown up. Like, I'm sorry to break it to you, but we're the new adults. We've grown up. We're growing up. Like, that's it. We're growing up. We're adulting. And like, as much as like I would love to complain about adulting, I would just rather be like, Lord, this is a process of life, and I'm just gonna need your grace and mercy to be able to get through it. Like, I need God's help to be able to adult in the best way possible. Like, I want to be able to do that. I want to reach my potential, you know. And it's like, God, like, this is that time. So as I'm watching people get married, I'm like, Lord, how's my prayer life? How's everything else that I've been talking about? Like, how's it going? Because if God says now, okay, tomorrow, if I ever want you to marry, am I ready to be somebody's wife? Am I ready to be a mother? Am I ready to be that CEO, to be that business owner? And it comes back to the point I brought up earlier about discipline. And I think in this, like in adulting, the biggest thing that I think I'm taking away so far, and I will continue to learn. That's the cool thing, is like, I'm, you know, like anyone who knows me, I'm very keen on learning, because I don't believe that I'm a finished product yet. Like, God is still doing great things in my life. And one thing is that, like, I'm just very excited to see, like, what God does. But God also needs to be teaching me and molding me through the ministry of the Holy Spirit and through mentors and everyone around me, that I need to be in a state of being willing to constantly learn. And the biggest thing that I'm learning is like discipline. Discipline. Like, discipline yourself. Pray. Do that thing. Because, you know, it's crazy. I'm starting to think as well. Some of us, like, and this is not coming from a place of regret. It kind of is, but kind of isn't. I think back and I'm like, if I was consistent and more disciplined in certain things like 3 years ago, by now it would have like really like just grown, and it really would have just been a whole thing. Like, if I was more consistent with YouTube, by now I should be in the thousands. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I should really be in the thousands. I should have already been on my Christian brand deals, trip, whatever thingies, you know. By now, I probably would have been able to buy my mother a house, settle my family. And I'm not saying this fully in a place of regret, but I'm saying this in a place of reflection, of like, you know what? Just be doing. Just be prepping yourself, because you just never know when God's about to move. You just never know when things are about to happen. So for those that are in that adulting stage, and like, we have to accept the fact that we are the new adults, and that like we have to actually take it seriously and not like joke with it too much. Because although like I do believe in like having fun and, you know, being a young Christian girl, you know, like, have fun, still be young. Like, it's not now I need to start collecting or start behaving like I'm a mother of 5. No. But with that being said, it's kind of like, especially that walk with God, babes, don't joke with that one. Because if you joke with that one, life will joke with you. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say. Thank you for listening. And I know my makeup is not even done, because I'm about to film another video, because why not? Who's gonna fight me if you're like, oh, she's wearing the same outfit, she's still doing her makeup? Are you gonna fight me? No. But yeah, thank you for listening. And I was, like I said, I was just thinking out loud and just speaking. But there will be more structured videos. Don't worry. Coolios. Bye, y'all.